So hair coloring is changing the color of the hair. Hair lightening is removing color from the hair, whether it's natural or whether it's artificial. Everybody got that? Morning, Mr. Grumbles. All right. Now, hair analysis. Everybody say analysis. Analysis. All right. All right. There are six factors to consider when analyzing the hair for color services. Does any of this look familiar? Right? We have elasticity. We have texture. We have density. We have porosity. We have the natural hair color. And we have the contributing pigment, which is also known as our undertone. And we're going to get into what each one of these are and how they directly affect the color surface. Elasticity, as we said, is the hair's ability to stretch and return without breaking. It is important in color surfaces because it is an indication of the strength of the cortex, including cross bonds and melanin molecules, right? So the more elastic that hair, the more cross bonds it has, the stronger that cortex is. All right. Now, texture. Texture is defined as the diameter of an individual hair strand. It is classified as coarse, fine, or medium. Right? All right. Now, melanin is distributed differently amongst the different hair textures. That's why this is important for hair coloring. Right? Fine hair has melanin granules that are packed tightly. Right? It takes color faster and appears to be darker. Right? That's how fine hair accepts hair color products. Right? Now, medium, average hair, it has average response on color products. Right? So all of your color products are going to have recommended times, etc. But as you're going to learn as we move forward through this chapter, there are things that you're going to need to do to protect yourself pre-color service, all right, as well as post-color service. Coarse hair has larger, looser granules, and it requires more processing time. All right? That's just how texture directly affects the hair color surface. All right? Everybody got that? All right? Density, as we said, is the number of hairs per square inch on the scalp. Now, density is going to determine the size of your subsections. The more dense the hair is, the more precise and fine your subsections need to be, because there's more hair. Why do you need to make the subsections smaller the more dense the hair is? You want to assure uniform adhesion of your product. You want to make sure that you have uniform amount of product throughout the hair so that you get uniform results of your color when you do the surface. Everybody get that? So the more dense the hair, the smaller your subsections need to be. Porosity has the ability to absorb moisture, as we said. This is always going to directly affect processing time, right? Now, what you need to know about porosity is that hair with high porosity, yes, it's going to absorb the color product quicker, right? But it's also going to fade faster. Right? It has a more loose, open cuticle scale. Average hair tends to process average time. Recommended times will be provided by your manufacturers. Again, you will do strand tests to determine your processing time before you actually perform your color service. All right? And low porosity hair is resistant hair. It requires more processing time and potentially a higher developer, depending on what we're looking for. All right? We'll get into developers as we move on in this chapter as well, and how they affect the color. Everybody understand how porosity directly affects hair color surfaces? All right? All right. Natural hair color ranges from black to lightest blonde. Right? There's a color scale. Natural hair ranges from black to lightest blonde. 1 being black, 10 being lightest blonde. At progressives, black, brown, light brown, blonde, lightest blonde. Right? it progresses through stages, through layers, through levels. Levels. It progresses through levels of color change. All right, we'll get more into that as well as we move forward in the chapter. Now, color is produced by two types of melanin. Okay, color is produced by two different types of melanin, eumelanin and pheomelanin. It's important to understand you have eumelanin and pheomelanin. Eumelanin produces black and brown colored hair, dark colored hair. Eumelanin, black, brown, dark colors, right? Pheomelanin is going to produce your yellows, your blondes, and your reds, right? Eumelanin, black, brown, dark. Pheomelanin, yellow, blonde, red, light. Okay? Now, that natural color ultimately is going to depend on three factors, right? It's going to be the thickness of the hair, right? Which is texture combined with density, okay? It's going to be the number and size of the pigment granules. What pigment is it talking about? What? Melanin, right? And it's going to be the ratio of pheomelanin to eumelanin. Those three factors are what's going to determine what your natural hair color looks like. All right? Everybody got that? Now, last but not least, we have what's called contributing pigment. Contributing pigment. All right? Contributing pigment is the pigment that lies under the natural hair color. All right? Contributing pigment is the pigment that lies under the natural hair color. The foundation of hair coloring is modifying this pigment with products to create new colors. All right? The foundation of hair coloring, what we do to get the results of what we see is we modify that contributing pigment, that natural color, right? We create new colors by mixing that contributing pigment with our product. All right? I know exactly who that is. I see what it is. All right? The darker the natural level of hair is, the more intense the contributing pigment is. All right? The darker the natural hair is, the more intense the contributing pigment is.